Jackson native and author. His new book is Zombie Deer and the TINE Buck. We'll hear all about it from Joseph Byler. Hi, Joseph.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity, Bart, for having me on the show. It's amazing what you've been doing in this industry, and there's a lot of more buzz probably now than probably ever in the last 20 years of what you're doing here. So thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Did I say the name of the book right?
Yeah, Zombie Deer and the TINE Buck.
TINE.
Yep.
TINE Buck. So
yep.
This was you're a hunter.
Yes, I'm a hunter.
But this was a deer that was hard to get?
It was very hard to get. You know, when you write a book, there's different aspects of how you write a book and why you write a book, and a lot of times it's from an inspiration of some sort. And this book was an inspiration of two different things, but I can talk about the one, and that's my friend Jack Hadley Jr. He owns a company called Massive Mineral Mix, and it's a deer nutritional supplement. And I'd like to say, like, because of what I learned from him and his product, I was able to actually dial down the deer that I was after for all these years. And, you know, the book, I talk about different series of events that happen. And I first found and saw this young deer when it was about 1.5 years old. Well, it was a 1.5-year-old buck. And I was hunting on the ground. And I saw tons of deer that morning, and I saw many small young bucks. But this one was a little different, and I describe it like he was like a little boy in gym class playing duck, duck, goose, because he had just a strange demeanor about him, and he was very unique looking. His body looked different than all the other deer, and so, you know, as a 1.5-year-old deer, I'm not gonna go and harvest this deer because it's too young for what I want to go out and do. So but that year I kept seeing him over and over and over, and this thing would not leave me alone. So every time I went out hunting, he was there, and I talk about that.
What makes him a zombie deer?
So the zombie deer is actually where the zombie deer come in is where, you know, later in the book, as the years go on, I'm trying to get this deer because now I'm trying to get him. You know, it is a blood sport, but there's a lot of things that's not about just killing an animal. It's about finding peace in the woods as well, in the outdoors. And the zombie deer comes in because there was EHD in 2012 came about. And I know now it's CWD and EHD and all these deer diseases and all these, I mean, it's just getting crazy now of what people are finding out. But EHD was a problem I had. And
that's the deer wasting disease, right?
Yeah, deer wasting, the CWD is a little bit different because that's more neurological. And that's where the cells, they sort of gather, the wrong cells gather together, and then they burst internally. And that can take 1 to 3 years before a deer dies. EHD is a midge bug that starts dehydrating the deer, which shuts down their protein synthesis, which shuts down their metabolism, which shuts down their immune system, and they can die within 72 hours. So EHD can be in some ways worse, but in some ways not as bad. It's sort of a gray area. So what the thing is if deer can get the right kind of supplemental food to boost their immune system, that was my anecdotal evidence, which ended up then being on a fairly large podcast with a Whitetail Institute because the story went sort of big. And the doctor on Whitetail Rendezvous podcast, Daryl Cherry, he said that it's very possible that this was prevented because of what I was doing with these deer.
You were giving nutritional supplements to deer?
Just outside, you know. So all it is just, you know, giving them minerals, and they come to it, and it boosts their immune system. So it's sort of like a buffer, like we would take care of our bodies. It's sort of the same thing. So there was deer dying everywhere, except 2 deer that kept hitting the certain specific mineral.
Well, we want people to read the story, so no spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But you've taken your lessons you've learned with this deer, being a hunter, and apply them to what you do in your profession. You're a life coach.
Yeah, I do life coaching. I prefer like the younger man crowd because there's a lot of men that need some direction. I've had a lot of experiences. and the sort of thing that I really am passionate about, coaching people and in finance and in life and in fitness world. And so I do a lot of that. I'm a carpenter trade by day and a coach by night, and a husband and a father of 3, and it's a lot of fun. My life's pretty fun.
This isn't your first book, Joseph.
Right. So this is the third book that I have together. My first 2 were with my wife. We did ebooks together, and they were fitness books. And we're sort of reconstructing those right now to make them into paperback. But this is my first paperback book, but the third installment, sort of, you would like to say, of a whole lot more coming in the future.
Is this book for a hunter?
Yes. This book is for young kids. I mean, if you can read this book. It's very simple and very easy to read, and all the way to, 90-some-year-old people. I have had so many different reviews that I can't even say like what has come about, like for people that enjoy it from all sorts of different areas of people I just didn't think that would maybe love it. They just love it because it's a story about hope and faith and perseverance more than anything.
Christmas gift. It could be a Christmas gift.
Yeah, great Christmas gift, yeah.
Where can people find this book?
So, being we're on JTV, I'm going to do a shout out to Shoepox because they actually carry the book. And if they don't have it, you can go to Amazon.com or on your Amazon app and buy them right there, and they're at your house in 2 days. So,
great. Well, good luck with the book.
Hey, and thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
It's a true story, Zombie Deer and the TINE buck, by our guest, Joseph Daniel Byler. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Bart.
Well, I think we have time for one more guest. Is there someone else in the green room?